Oh, I like that. Did it
Pictures.
change? That
Yeah.
changed. Oh, I
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
like
like
that.
magic.
That's
Yeah.
fantastic. Well, ladies and gents, rumor is Rachel Zegler, to combat the nonsense of Snow White in live action, the rumor has it, rumor me this, is that they're looking to reduce the role
Mhm.
by doing flashbacks to a child.
Mhm.
That's basically it, right?
Mhm.
So they can't cut her out. They can't, reshoot with a new actor. They know they're up Shit's Creek. They know we know that they know they're up Shit's Creek because they've added a bunch of bloody dwarfs after saying that they weren't going to have dwarfs because they were bound down to the king of the dwarfs, Peter Dinklage.
That's
Not
not
only
totally
that,
true.
we also saw pictures of the dirty, smelly hippies.
Yes,
Well, what
although
they
Tom's now
said
just said that's
was
not true.
they said when they were asked about the dwarves, they said we were never going to have little people play the dwarves anyway. They're going to be magical creatures in our new movie. So I always knew they were going to do some kind of CGI version of the dwarves. I wonder if the hippies aren't the huntsmen plural. Like, I don't know if there's going to be a huntsman in this story or not.
Well, the rumor is that they're the merry bandits, aren't they?
They're
They're the
brigands,
seven.
Yeah.
Well, why would
Yeah.
there be seven of them though? There's so many things that don't
I
make
don't
sense.
know. None of this makes
I-
sense. But well, the only reason I thought that is because I said that back then. I'm like, well, creature is usually the term used for any kind of CGI monster, what have you, kind of work in Hollywood. It's like the short form word they use, creature effects usually. And
yeah, well,
and the thing that, and
yeah.
I've said before, the thing that makes Disney's Snow White different from any other version, aside from the music, is the dwarves because they named the dwarves and gave them all personalities. You cannot use dopey, doc, sneezy, bashful, all that shit in any other form because Disney owns those.
Not yet.
Well, yeah,
Not
not
yet,
yet.
anyway. In
Not
about
yet.
10 years, you'll
Not
be
yet.
able to, but yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, not to sort of digress too much. I mean, the take home from this is
Right. Yeah.
they're concerned, right? I would be too if I had a repugnant asshole leading my movie, right? Not to be too blunt, ladies and gents, but I would be concerned too. All right, this
Cut to the
woman
chase, though.
is
I believe this story. Like, I do believe they probably casted a
Oh,
younger actress to fill in some bits so they can use less of
yes,
Rachel.
yeah. I mean,
absolutely. So yeah, so to sort of cut through the breeze of it, as Tom is trying to do, cut right to the chase. They've added these flashbacks of a little girl to build out the character, and to hopefully make you feel in some way emotionally sympathetic towards this individual. Now, the take home from this is: can I believe it? Yes, absolutely. Will it make a difference? No, absolutely not. Because at the end of the day, Rachel Zegler, she's a bad actress anyway. If you've seen her in things, she's not a good actress. Not only that, the things she's said and the way she's gone about it is the sticking point. That's what that is. It was offensive to women in general who want, you don't need to find love, blah blah blah. I mean, there's all manner of things. And not only that, if the way they're going to keep the structure of the film the same, they can't change too much, without it just becoming a complete mess. And because they can't change too much, adding these individuals, these sort of childhood flashbacks, can't change the way this movie's going to go, where she's going to be a strong boss woman and lead the kingdom. Fearless, brave, and true was what she said. So, thoughts, culture.
well, first of all, I believe this story 1000% because, Pro has a great track record when it comes to things like this, and his sources
Yes,
are.
side note, this is from WDW Pro, friend of the channel.
Yeah, and his website that I'm even a contributor to that Park Place. But anyway, back to that. I this doesn't surprise me. It is a way for them to hide just how bad Rachel's performance is and the story, which would have Walt spinning in his grave if he wasn't already doing so under everything else that's been happening. Because he did not like Marxists, communists, and all the other ists and phobes that these people are trying to be. As far as the things that they're presenting here, this was also an elaborate cover up, whatever you want to call it, because this image comes straight out of Bing Image Creator. As far as I'm concerned, I think they just kind of photoshopped Rachel Zegler's face on top of whatever else this burped out. So
It looks AI almost.
It is.
Mm.
It is. Yeah, and regardless, this is a story I covered myself. I think that there's nothing they can do that's going to make this film any better. And I don't know. I'm with Tom. I think that I think I think we're gonna get 7 dirty hippies and 7 dwarves and all kinds of other strange things in this film that are also not going to connect with the audience. And why? Well, because the only films that work live action when you take animation to live action is films that are essentially shot for shot remakes with all of the things people love.
I mean, Lion King was a success. Like, I understand why Disney's doing this, because they have crossed billions of dollars with their live action remakes.
Sure.
But that's when they have been shot for shot bloody remakes. The ones which haven't have not done very well. So why would you keep going down this path? I mean, it's nonsense. Absolute nonsense. Lion King was literally just shot for shot the bloody same. Exactly the same.
Yeah, and again, that's when they're successful. When they deviate, they screw it up.
Except for they had almost all black cast for the Lion King remake, didn't they? Like, that was one of the big changes anyway.
Yeah, I guess so. Well, yeah. But it's just voice cast. It doesn't really matter. So, in terms of the visuals, what you're seeing, that's, that was what.
According to Elton John, they ruined his music.
Well,
oh, yeah, true. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Right. And then, but rewind just slightly more and just acknowledge the fact that, they screwed up the Little Mermaid remake because they deviated too much from the original thing. It didn't have quite the earnings, especially internationally, that these films are expected to have. So when you look at the overall picture, Disney deviated from the successful path. And here we are. We've got another one. This is going to fail. And, I'm there for it. I can't wait to cover this story.
Yeah. Go on, Tom. What do you reckon, mate? Chime on in. Do you reckon it's true? What do you reckon the impact's going to be? What do you reckon?
Well, yeah, like I said before, I believe it. This is probably one of the reasons why we've got the movie pushed off for reshoots. It's about all they can do, because they can't fire her, right? Like, the optics of that would be too bad. But what they can do is reduce the impact, right? Like, that's generally how they can fix these things, in quotations. It's just going to make it a Frankensteinian mess, as Andre likes to call it at the end of the day. But will it help? I doubt it. At this point, like I said before, they have gone so far away from the mothership, they might as well have just taken out any reference to Snow White at all in the movie itself and made it like, something completely different, like the Cinderella story with Drew Barrymore was. Where, it's kind of like Cinderella, but it's not exactly Cinderella. You know what I mean? Like, they could have done something like that, I don't know. It just, to me, the whole thing just reeks of stupidity. This should have been out this year, or this last year anyway, for the 100th anniversary of Disney. They haven't had a live action remake now in a little bit, too. See, like, that's the one thing we've been ignoring as far as our reporting, I guess. We should say, is we've talked about Marvel, we've talked about Pixar, we've talked about Star Wars, but and a little bit of the animation side of things with Pixar. But the one thing we have ignored completely when it comes to Disney and have not talked about is their live action films, which now consist of mostly remakes, right? Let's talk about that for a minute. Disney used to have a very lucrative live action division alongside their animation stuff, right? You used to get stuff like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, The Mighty Ducks, all kinds of good stuff that used to make money. Cool Runnings.
Yeah, their live action is now only Marvel and Lucasfilm.
Yeah, but to be fair, there is one live action Disney film that is filming right now.
We're going to cover that later.
I'll just zip that for now.
But otherwise, they have almost all but ignored all the idea of bringing classic family films that weren't necessarily animation or in your, like you just said, Star Wars or MCU, but like we don't get
isn't it? Isn't that weird?
Yeah, we don't get a Cool Runnings anymore. We don't get, any of these type of films that they used to be well known for, because those were the kind of movies as a teenager growing up. Is like, basically, I've said this before. Little Mermaid was basically my last Disney movie, and what that means is I hit that age after the Little Mermaid. Aladdin was okay, but I was already like 12 years old by the time Aladdin came out. So like I'm getting to that point. Yeah, Disney movies are for babies. So Beauty and the Beast and beyond that, they just weren't really my Disney movies. I never even saw Hercules to this day.
Same.
You know what I mean? Like those were not my era. Pocahontas was okay. And then up until I had a kid, I didn't really get back into Disney films. But what I did see was the Mighty Ducks films. You know, I saw the Honey, I Shrunk the Kids and Honey, I Blew Up the Kid. The Cool Runnings was, you know, a little bit more adult oriented to where you could get into it and watch it and not feel like you're a baby watching it. They don't have those kind of movies anymore. Oh, look who we have here. It's Celebrity.
I've got an idea for one of those movies. What about Honey, I Shrunk the Franchise? Get Rick Moranis back.
Well, they're already working on that, right?
Actually,
you're doing that
over and over.
Well, let's get your thoughts on this.
They're sticking, what's his face, who played the stupid snowman and Frozen in it. He's going to be the main star, and Rick Moranis is going to be in it, but he's going to be missing, and that's what the whole plot is.
I think when they do the straight to TV movie of the Disney World situation, it's going to be Who Framed Bob Iger. We'll see how that goes.
well, let's get your thoughts on this, Pro. This is your story, your leak. So what? Yeah, let's get.
This is when we started on this. When we started on this story, it was rumor. I think it's basically corroborated now. If you go and look, you can now find, I believe her name is Amelia Foucher, is the name of the young actress who will be playing Snow White. We know they had wrapped up filming last year. Then they said they were going to do reshoots and delay the movie a year. If they're bringing in a child actress to play Snow White, that means that those scenes were not originally intended. So this feels to me like a rumor that was... Yes.
And it's really important.
What do you have?
Is she Latina?
Well, I have not looked into that, but I will look into that.
They're all racist.
I would bet.
She ain't...
I would put money on it. I'll put a fresh lasagna on the table for her being Latina. I would. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. H. Latinx, because this is Disney. It's not said anywhere else, but only. But yeah, so I think this is one of those rumors that was corroborated in lightning speed, and so yeah, I don't see any way around this being true. It seems like Rachel Zegler was going to be Snow White for the entirety of the film. Now she's not going to be. I think they needed the child actress to come on and do the childhood scenes to soften the character, and I think we're already past rumor territory here.
It's not going to soften her, though, is it? Let's be honest.
Well, I mean, were you going to get Zegler to go sing "One Day My Prince Will Come"? That's a hard ask of Zegler. After all she's done.
Yeah, what I mean, yeah, no, I agree. But a child flashbacks will not soften the audience who have watched any of those interviews, which is a lot of people.
But
Yeah,
you
they-
can
they-
have a
they-
child
video.
thing about One Day My Prince Will Come, and that way it's Snow White does it in the movie, and Zegler doesn't have to do it. And from Disney's point of view, that might be a face save.
Or
No, but what I mean is that it's millions of people that have seen all of these interviews with Zegler. It's not going to soften.
well, I agree with that. Here's what I think they're doing. I think they're making a play for the families who don't pay attention. They need a kid to draw in the kid audiences. They need to put the kid in the promos, and they need to pull a Cruella de Vil here, minus the roundhouse kick from a Dalmatian. They need you. They need you to have a reason to accept that that Rachel Zegler is a witch version of Snow White, and they need to have some sort of tragedy in the child's past, a la Simba with Mufasa, but we don't get to do the song dance with Pumbaa and Timon. That's the idea here.
Yeah. Don't know. Well, let's get Nick's thoughts.
Maybe her parents were killed by a runaway apple cart.
Oh gosh.
Or by real dwarfs. Now that would be a twist of roulette. Here come the real dwarfs.
Yeah.
You guys finally get roles. You can finally be on the big screen again. Inclusion for the win. You murdered Snow White's dad. Your tiny little.
Well, come on, Nick. What's your thoughts on this, chap?
Rachel Zegler, man, I swear she is like become the Brie Larson 2.0. You know, with her dumb comments and stuff. But look, at the end of the day, the people who's going to see this movie are adult parents who are taking their kids. Yep. And with all the comments and all the controversy surrounded with this movie, you know, why are you going to take your kids to this Snow White propaganda piece when you can literally just show them the original film, which is going to be 10 times better than this? So the audience that this is being pushed to, I don't even think it's going to even show up. to even see this thing. I think this thing's dead on arrival, and I can totally believe this rumor here that on what they're doing as far as getting a younger actress in, just to kind of, soften up the film a little bit and then use that in the marketing push for it. But I don't think it might help a little bit, but it's not gonna push it to the point to where I think this thing is gonna, make them tons of money or anything. So yeah, I still think it's gonna be DOA, and Rachel Zegler sucks.
Breaking exclusive right here on the Mr. H show. We've got the first report on, is Amelia Foucher the new young Snow White, Latina or Latinx? Turns out that her dad is American, her mother Mexican. Confirmed.
No, there you
go. Well, Rachel Zegler will be happy because that
so in other words, she's Taco Bell.
Oh boy.
Oh my God.
Oh boy.
Jesus.
All right. Well, let me
Just Mexico and America meet, isn't it?
Yes, that's true.
Andre,
come on. I want your thoughts now. Let's go.
Yeah, well, I totally believe it. I think that the movie has obviously gone through some kind of retrofit with the dwarfs and everything, and they may have refit the ending and then probably the beginning. Well, they probably redone the entire film, I should imagine, more or less. And to that end, yeah, obviously there's going to be some childhood scenes. Now, are those there explicitly to reduce the presence of Rachel Zegler? Well, that I don't know. It would be very, very cool if they, if that was the case. But really, they need to replace her, because here's like the thing: Rachel Zegler, she is the new Brie Larson, only worse, because she's every bit as toxic both on and off the screen. I mean, and that's something that can play to her character. Like, for instance, in the Hunger Games, her characters was kind of like a duplicitous bitch. And so she played that role perfectly, because that was in her character. But to play someone that's supposed to be like relatively sweet and innocent like Snow White, is that even within her repertoire? I kind of doubt it.
No, well, yeah, she's not a very good actor. Like, her performances have not been that good.
She's not had a single financial hit. I mean, Hunger Games performed half of what the prior Hunger Games did, and that's with inflation not yet adjusted. So,
yeah, but still, relative to its budget, it did kind of okay, though.
Yeah, I was going to say
it was to be who carried that movie.
But to push that back just a wee bit, do you want someone who the best they've ever done is just okay, leading the Snow White role?
Well, and again, I mean, Disney has a tendency now to do this kind of thing and just not exactly land on the best possible candidate for a role. But we'll set that aside and just say this. My speculation is the same as Nick's. I think this is being done the way it is with a younger actress, because they need to counter the conversation that we've been having here, which is that Disney's no longer a family company. And I think that's something that needs to be focused on there.
It's not going to work at the end of the day.
No, but whether or not, Rachel Zegler is bankable, which she doesn't seem to be, she's in this film, and I think that's going to hurt it more than anything else.
Yeah, on millions of views. All these videos and her videos, millions of views. So, no, it's not going to help. It's not going to help. But there you go. There you have it, ladies and gents. Kickstarting episode number 99, season 2 of the H-Cast.
That's right.
With a fantastic, fine topic.